Hello, my name is Naomi and I'm one of the members of Inclusive Gathering Birmingham. It's my pleasure to share this reflection with you and also introduce our cause for this year's collection. Often, when computer programmers are testing code for errors, they will introduce a challenge to the system, which helps them find and fix bugs. The pandemic has challenged our system and revealed a number of things. The first is that there is a system. There is a link between all of us. We share a piece of each other's reality. The reason this virus has spread is because we are connected, whether we like that or not. It has also revealed that the system, the web of connectivity, is faulty. In many circumstances, it would better be described as proximity rather than true connection. People can exist in close enough quarters to be at risk of transmission and still not feel loved, understood, or valued. When we talk of community transmission, we mean it in the loosest sense of the word: proximate people. Community is a calling, one that we can choose to live up to or choose to ignore. During the first lockdown, we saw thousands of people trying to live up to that calling. There were mutual aid groups established, church and school halls were turned into food banks, and there were phone trees checking on vulnerable people. Unfortunately, we also saw the side effects of those with an expectation that the system will always work for their benefit, no matter what. But don't get these people confused with those who do not trust that the system will help them, because it never has before. I'm glad we quickly moved away from the idea that the pandemic was some kind of leveller. As much as it's not been good for anyone, apart from maybe a few billionaires, there is a huge variation in how it's been experienced by different people and the additional challenges that it has thrown up. 2020 has been a challenging year for us all. Of that, I don't think any of us will need reminding. But sometimes challenges can remind us what is important. When the business of day-to-day life is stripped away, we are left to think about the big stuff. For many, this year has been about meeting those most basic needs: where to find food, where to find shelter, and where to find connection. For those of us not in the position to be worrying about our essential needs, this year may have challenged how you interact with and take care of the natural environment, how you may be complicit in maintaining the structures of white supremacy, how you value the lives of those who are older or who have disabilities. This year may not have allowed you any time to think at all, and that is completely okay. For me, I've reflected on how we turn proximity into connection and compassion. I've been struck how easy it is to overlook the small things. When we talk about systematic change, it can feel like it comes in the form of huge legal battles, rooms full of important people, and David versus Goliath style giant slaying. A lot of the time it does. It's important that we work to change the legal and institutional fabric of our society for the better. But so much of our life exists outside of these boxes, these institutions, flowing between them and between each of us. We are presented with thousands of opportunities each day to make a difference in the time and space that we inhabit as individuals. And often it is in those small and radical decisions that we build up the collective voice necessary to change the big stuff. Injustice assumes our cooperation. Even in the slightest act of resistance, we can begin to destabilise it. This year, Inclusive Gathering Birmingham is supporting Red Letter Christians UK's Debt Jubilee campaign. Through this campaign, Red Letter Christians UK and its partners around the country are looking to highlight the stories of people with no recourse to public funds. People whose immigration status means they are banned from accessing the public safety net. In England, this means they cannot receive treatment for free on the NHS, and many are refused treatment as a result. During the pandemic, this means that people have avoided seeking medical treatment even when they are seriously ill, because they are scared they will be charged. In the last few years, at least 3 women and their unborn children have died as a result of this policy and the fear that it creates. When people are charged, they have 2 months to pay off their debts, usually in the region of thousands of pounds, before they are reported to the Home Office for investigation. This process has led to people being deported, and it's part of the so-called hostile environments. There are many amazing organisations, led by groups of NHS staff and migrant advocates, pressuring the government to change this policy. We want to add our voice to theirs, whilst also taking radical steps to change the lives of those affected by these policies here and now. We believe in the biblical principle of Jubilee, where debts are written off, the land is rested, and the people celebrate all that they have been blessed with. We want to raise funds to cancel the debts of destitute people with no recourse, charged for NHS care, so they can be free from that burden. At the very least, the worst that will happen is that NHS receives some money. At best, we hope to highlight to the government that the UK should be a place of welcome, not discrimination. All the money raised tonight will go towards this campaign, and in whatever way we can, either by cancelling the debt with the NHS or working with individuals and organisations, it will be used to make a direct impact on people's lives. You can donate through our crowdfunder and read more about the campaign through this link. I want to thank our community for your support, and I also want to wish you a hopeful Advent season and a Merry Christmas.